I am so freaking excited to talk about Q1, just like my thoughts on Q1 that wrapped up not too long ago, right? Like we're on mama time. But I promised a Q1 recap, so I wanted to do that. And just chat about predictions moving forward in the world, in the industry, like just my intuition, what I'm feeling, how it can, benefit you, and everything on my mind. So today's episode is sponsored by Kathy Marlink. She has an amazing business where you can find treasures that are like literally so unique and are so affordable, and she has a whole shop. I'll make sure I link the her treasure box, but I'm seriously so freaking proud of her and the growth that she's had, the confidence that she's created, and just like it's amazing when you witness women that are like putting themselves out there and they like finally start to get their groove, and then it like compounds. That is Kathy, and I'm so proud of her. So make sure you're following her, make sure you're in her Facebook group so you can shop and support her and just like cheer her on. So let's talk about Q1 recap. So a lot happened in Q1 here, and I'm sure with you as well. And it's really important to do a recap. There's no wrong way to do a recap, but like just sitting and thinking about like what worked, what didn't work can go a freaking long way, because too often we just keep going and going and going and going and going, and the finish line is always moving, and then we just really like we're being really reactive rather than proactive. And I want you to get to a point where like all of your content is planned out, all of your launches are planned out, like you're ahead in all areas of your life. And in order to do that, we've got to know what works, right? Because it can just cut out the noise of being on the entrepreneur hamster wheel, right? Like we should always be trying new things. Don't get me wrong. Innovation is key, especially right now. But what works, oh my gosh, can you imagine if you doubled down on what has actually worked for you? Like you would be even more successful than you are right now, right? So we just want to really focus on what is it, right? Like what is it? So Q1 was a lot. There were so many feelings about Q1. One, I was knee deep in postpartum. I had a baby in December, and so, I had all of these exciting new year vibes, that I did everything in my power to sustain. But when you're not sleeping, I shouldn't say not sleeping, when your sleep is broken up and very unpredictable and you're emotionally regulating another human, it can just cause for a lot of ups and downs literally every single day. So Q1, we very much did an amazing job maintaining the company, which I am very, very grateful for, because we were playing, we did new things. We did a build your course launch a couple of times, which was fantastic, which we re-recorded that and updated it, which was huge. Obviously taking care of a baby, which is huge. We did our inner circle launch, which was huge. And I actually decided to close that early. That was technically in Q2 because it ended in April, but we launched it in March. And it was one of the best decisions, because something that I am noticing is, I used to launch and do long launches, and just what I'm noticing is I actually want to do short launches, like short and sweet launches, build urgency, build excitement, and actually like not drag it out, because everyone's attention span is getting shorter and shorter, right? So that was a huge lesson that I learned in Q1 that I'm very grateful for, and therefore taking into Q2. What else did I learn in Q1? I learned also that I deeply desire just to have like no pressure, meaning like the more pressure we put on ourselves, the more stressed we are, which is just not a recipe for a sustainable business that can grow too. So I operate really well when it's like, ooh, what feels good, right? Like, so no pressure from like a schedule standpoint. So really like leaning out my schedule, leaning out my expenses. I hired a Profit First coach and we're meeting every single week. If you don't know what Profit First is, look it up. It's so freaking valuable. And I've known about it for years and like dabbled in Profit First, but she is like holding my feet to the fire and we meet every single week and it's just so valuable and mind-blowing and I'm just so freaking excited. So that was a big Q1 win. We had our Nashville retreat in Q1, which was also a huge, massive win. So for me, video is like the tried and true thing in my business. When I do video, everything else works in my business, like literally everything. So I'm doing more and more and more and more of it. Short form video, long form video, repurposing. I am literally like the queen of repurposing. It's not even funny. So just noticing like, okay, like what makes sense. So I've started to, hold on one second. I've started to really focus on, we're going to have to move. We're moving, we're grooving, we're doing all the things. So I've noticed that the more I can do video, the better, right? So I've actually taken back like planning my content. And the reason why I've taken back planning my content is because the more I'm like in it, I just feel so connected to my mission, and it's actually, it doesn't take me long to plan my content. I have a really cool system. Eventually we will sell it. But just so freaking powerful to be able to, create a system, work the system, and it's just like easy and breezy and like powerful. So yeah. So taking back, doing my content, planning it all out in advance, which feels so good. We make things so much harder than they need to be. Like truly, like we make things so incredibly hard. That if we just took a step back and be like, okay, how can I make this easier? How can I make this easier? And like keep asking yourself and making it easier and easier and easier. Like that is the recipe for scalability. Like hands down, period, end of subject, like the biggest, most important thing. I also, with that being said, closer to the end of well, that was actually technically Q2. It all blends together. But in April, I really started to realize and notice of like, okay, I am like the compound effect of postpartum is really feeling strong right now. And so my mental health was just like, I don't want to say it was taking a beating, but it just needed like, my mental health needed more space. So that's why I, shortened my launch. That's why I like took some commitments off my calendar, and just didn't feel bad about any of it. Like I have noticed that my voice is getting so much stronger. My people pleasing tendencies are literally like dwindling, which is honestly the biggest win ever. Because a lot of times I'll do something for me, which feels exciting, but then I'll instantly like be like, I'll like do a turtle moment where I'm like, oh, people are going to be mad at me. And like, I don't feel that anymore. And that is just like so powerful. So the more we can grow and the more we can pay attention to like what our needs are and how can we set ourselves up for success, like the money will come, the clients will come, the success will come, It's like focusing on you is so key. And so often we just skip over ourselves and focus on everything and everyone else. But you are the strategy. Like, I will keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. You are the strategy. So I could talk about Q1 more. I'll do like a deep dive with photos and like more like insights and takeaways, but I just kind of wanted to talk it out loud. But the biggest thing with Q1 was realizing I need some time for mental health, and 2, I want to lean down my business and become an even more well-oiled operation, step more into automation, and really make room for other things. I am not just a coach or a mentor. I am so much more than that. We got our 501c3 for our nonprofit approved, which felt so exciting and good. But yeah, just automating the whole business, streamlining it, stripping away things that just don't need to be there, and just really leaning everything down, which brings me to predictions and recommendations for everyone moving forward. So it's no surprise we are in what's called winter right now from a economic standpoint, aka the R word, recession. And here's the thing that I want you to know. People are still spending money. People are still investing. People are still looking for opportunities. So this is a great time to double down on your money mindset. This is a great time to build relationships. This is a great time to do what I'm doing and lean down your operations and automate things. We have so many tools and resources at our fingertips. If we just took a teeny bit of time to like step back and do it, it would actually like just save you so much time, which I know is not always the easiest thing to do, but like go to Panera, go to Starbucks, block off your day, get some childcare, like do what you've got to do to set your business up for success. This is a great time to innovate. This is a great time to think about what industries are crushing it and how can that be incorporated into your business, so that way you can not only survive, but most importantly, thrive. Because it can and will happen if you say so. So just be mindful of what is in your head. What are you saying out loud? And most importantly, what actions are you taking? Because those actions are so critical, especially right now. People are craving community. People are craving experiences. People are craving how they can save time. So think about how your product, program, or service can really do 1 or 3 of those things, and let's start getting out there, not just on social, but literally out into the community. Get to know people both personally, like, or in person and also virtually. We can't just mass market. There's just too much noise. So we've got to get to know people. If there's one thing I've done for 17 years really, really well, it is getting to know people without any expectations. And the more we do this, the more it works in your favor. So just wanted to give you a couple of recommendations moving forward, give you some things to think about. Of course, I'm here cheering you on. Would love to support you any way that I can. But take some time to think about this because it'll help you stay in business and thrive. There are so many businesses that explode in hard times. Why not you? Why not today? Okay. So get to it. I love you. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next show.